we're joined from Hong Kong by Mr. Benny Kwok, the international political expert. Mr. Kwok, thank you for joining us here on In Focus. Now, given the surging $50 billion bilateral trade, is Spain consciously positioning itself as China's most reliable economic gateway into Europe, potentially undermining the collective EU stance?
Hello, thank you for inviting me. You seeing Spain is a little bit more different from the stance of Brussels and the France and the Germany on the views on China. So I would say Spain is one of the very few EU members, just like the Hungary, to be more friendly with China. I would say one of the biggest reasons for Madrid's reasons for being more friendly with China is, of course, it's about the trade. Unlike France and Germany, which has many direct competitions because of their manufacturings or their high tech with the car manufacturing companies that suffers a lot of interest. They suffer a lot because of the growth of the EVs industries from China. So on there are less, I would say, less competitions between the Spanish companies in China, and also there'll be less conflict of interest between the two countries. So that's why I would say Spain's in economic terms is more friendly for the Chinese capitals and more of or Chinese companies to do more investment in China in Spain. So that's why Spain, I would say, in terms of the monetary terms and also the economic terms, they will view Beijing and even the whole China is more friendly, and they would like to seek more investment and economic partnerships with China between China and Spain.
How significant is Spain's withdrawal of support from European Union tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles and the planned Catalan plant near Zaragoza in cementing its strategic alignment with Beijing?
So that it is what I have said in the first question. That is because there is less conflict of commerce between Spain and China. So that's why when China is seeking the expansion of the EVs market around the world, especially in Europe, so you're seeing China is trying to expand its EV business in Hungary and then Spain. It is much different from the France and Germany. So I would say, even though among the European members, they have the so-called unified economic and the trade stance and terms among the countries, they still have some, I would say, independent economic policies. They still have rooms to take care of the national interests. So that's why Spain, Hungary is a little bit more deviant in terms of the economic partnerships and in terms of the trade policies with China. So you're seeing that because of there is less commerce conflict of interest between these two countries. So Spain did not join the EU tariffs instead, and they would like to have closer partnerships between China in terms of the EVs industry.
Yes. Well, the official Chinese press applauds Spain's intelligent betrayal of traditional alliances. Does this royal visit fundamentally compromise Madrid's core security relationship with the US, opting to spend more on its bilateral relationship with China rather than its defense obligations towards NATO, for instance?
I would say the royal visit, in China and also the royal relations with China, yes, a little bit deviant for Spain to develop its own foreign policy with China instead of try not to be not too dependent on the NATO, try not to really strictly follow the NATO terms and also the EU. But I would say Spain still be a very important member for the EU in the EU and also the NATO. I would just say these royal relations with China is trying to help the Sanchez government to portray this. They have a more independent policy with China rather than 100% follow NATO and the EU. So just give some more rooms for the government to build the independent image and yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you think maybe this Spanish initiative would encourage other EU members to follow suit?
I would say depends because Portugal, Spain, geographically they are much more not just geographically very far away with China, and also the Russian invasion, the Russian influence, they have less Russian invasion of the effect against the Spain and the Portugal. So if you put another example, just like the Baltic Sea countries, if you say the Eastern Europe in general, they are more fear of the Russian influence, and that's why they are more be alert for the China's influence. But if you put Spain and Portugal, these two, especially these two Western Europe member states, they didn't see any Russian influence, and that's why they're be more open. Sorry, be more open to for the with developing the relations with China.
Mm-hmm. Are the accompanying leaders from Spain's energy and automotive sectors truly seeking fair market access, or is their priority securing Chinese investment to save the critical domestic industries?
Yes. I would say in the past when we are talking about the seeking the fair entry for the European countries in China, and we're concentrating for the company, we are concentrating over the businesses from France and Germany, led by the France and Germany because of the manufacturing, automobile industries, or other high-tech manufacturing industries. So I would say let's look at what kind of industries of businesses from the Spain is trying to enter in China, and see whether Beijing would give any favorable terms for the Spanish businesses, and see whether Madrid would try to would formulate more friendly trade policies for the Chinese businesses, especially to the EVs, and see whether those Chinese EV businesses would create or create many more job opportunities in Spain. If these two with really the China give some favorite policies for the Spanish businesses, and also the China EV business industries, China EV companies could create some job opportunities in Spain, then these, I would say, that would help strengthen the trade and economic relations between Spain and China.
Mm-hmm. What about the cultural aspect? Do the cultural exchanges like the Confucius and Cervantes institutes provide a genuinely stable, mutually beneficial foundation, or are they tools for China's strategic influence in Spain?
I would say the later one. That is the China always want would like to utilize the Confucius Institute to portray the so-called soft power of China. So you're seeing over over the decade, China would like to use this Confucius University to project its power in many of the European member states, but it but it faces many rejections over the past few years, especially in the Czech Republic, and also the face many criticism in the United Kingdom, and also in some Eastern European member states. So if China, if really find European member state that is more likely, more friendly with China, then of course Beijing won't waste the opportunity to try to take Spain as a very important stepping stone, to so that it could project its so-called soft power, so like to so that they could tell the Spanish people that to try to portray that China is a very like friendly country. China is a country that support the global free trade, and China would like to be friend with the Europe, unlike the Donald Trump's United States that is portraying be not very friendly with the Europe, and also China is with the very long history of the culture, and it would be good for China to be have the very close cultural partnerships with the Spain. And
Yes.
I would say yes, China would take this very golden chance to form of very close partnerships in terms of cultural and the and economic terms with Spain.
Yes. So you are saying that from the Chinese perspective, Spain is a step ahead, a step above other European countries with the establishment of a new high-level intergovernmental meeting format and the cultural relationship, elevating the China-Spain relationship above
Yeah.
Beijing's ties with other major European powers?
Yes, because Spain is one of the unlike Hungary, Spain's the economic in terms of the purchasing power, in terms of the level of the economy. Spain is much more advanced, and also Spain is one of the very few EU member states does not feel any Russian invasion feelings. So it is very important for China to try to find so-called loopholes within Europe, so that to try to bypass the hostile view against China, especially from Brussels, from Berlin, from Paris, and other Eastern European member states, and Spain would be a very important for Beijing to take this loophole to try to maintain its relations with the EU, and also try to find some pro China or pro Beijing EU member states, so that those states could help China to lobby with the Brussels, or lobby with the Paris, and the try to diminish the pressures against China
Yes.
in the economic or political terms, when negotiating with China, when talking about with the whether China really supporting Russia militarily.
Mr. Benny Kwok, the international political expert, speaking to us from Hong Kong. Thank you very much, sir, for your insights.